Hello YouTube chess lovers and my friends, this is Gunjan here. Welcome to my fourth episode of Killer Mini Chess Traps. In today's lecture, we are going to see three different high-profile quick opening traps, and the content are as follows. The first trap I'm going to show you is a very special one because recently I fall for this, and to my surprise, not many white players has chosen this pass, so you can literally use this as a complete surprise weapon. We have the Sicilian defense on the table after e4 c5, knight to f3 and knight to c6. Rather than going into the main line of d4, my opponent chose the move c3, a very popular sideline, and leads to some of the strong Alapin structures. Well, I played the theoretical recommendation, that is d5, and my point is, after e captures d5 and queen captures d5, as white cannot play knight to c3, my queen is well placed on the d5 square. Okay, white has to fight for the center, so he indeed played the move d4, and accordingly, black tried to pressurize the center with bishop to g4, pinning the knight and trying to remove the defender of the d4 square. Well, here by far the main line is bishop to e2. However, my opponent come up with this very rare but very sneaky move, knight b to d2. And at the time, I still remember I said, what? What was that? From all angles, it looks like a blunder, as black is trying to pressurize the d pawn, and rather than defending, white is playing an ugly move, which apart from giving the support to f3 knight, doesn't do anything. And because my opponent was low rated, I think, okay, he made a big blunder. I'm going to capture on d4, and after pawn takes d4, here black should avoid capturing the d4 pawn and continue with knight to f6. However, after bishop to c4, I think game remained balanced as both the sides get their tactical chances. But who can resist this free pawn? And just like me, many black players has took this pawn instantly, thinking that white has made a big error, and now not only black is a clear pawn up, but we are attacking the knight 3 times and get more advantage from this position. Well, guess what? Just one move and black's all dreams shattered. And when in fact my opponent did play the move queen to a4 check, suddenly to my surprise, I realize how crafty this trap is. Game over, guys, because by force white is winning a piece, as if you continue with bishop to d7, then after queen captures d4, white emerged with a whole knight up, and the other move, knight to c6, completely fails because of queen captures g4, and once again this time around white emerged with a whole bishop up. So this is one of the crafty trap in the 3c3 Alapin, where instead of bishop to e2 here, you can literally surprise your opponent, especially in the quick game, with knight b to d2, and punish your greedy opponent just within the opening stage. The second trap occurs in the Elephant Gambit, where the opening move orders are as follows: e4, e5, knight to f3, and now rather than defending the e5 square, black played this tactical idea, namely d5. Okay, by far the most popular choice is e captures d5, and here black continue with e4 attacking the knight. Theory continue with queen to e2, pinning down that pawn and attacking on e4. So black defended with knight to f6, and now white put more pressure on the e-pawn with d3. Well, now comes the move which sets up a very cunning trap, and that is bishop to b4 check. Here there are two popular choices. One is c3 and second is bishop to d2. Now if your opponent plays the move c3, then after castle, black get the huge initiative, and I have attached a sample game in the PGN, so you can check it out. But our main trap occurs when white plays the move bishop to d2, which looks more logical in this position. Idea is very obvious that if black took this bishop, then after knight b to d2, white gained more pressure on the e4 spot. Okay, black castles at this point, and again if white plays the move d captures e4, then after rook to e8, black get huge attack, especially on the e file where white king and a queen sitting there. So most of the white player has considered the move bishop captures b4, not only grabbing a piece but attacking that rook. And in fact, few strong games has gone into this direction, which I'm afraid a completely wrong idea. Here white has straight away fallen into the black trappy territory, and the trappy business start with this very obvious move, e captures f3, attacking the queen, queen captures f3, and although white has a bishop pair and few pawns, he is completely losing from this position because of this wonderful check. Obviously, if the king moves, then that clearly justifies the black's loss of pawn. But you may ask, how about bishop to e2? Isn't that solve all white problem? Nope, not at all, because just one move, bishop to g4. And suddenly white can resign the game, as there is no way to defend on the e2 square. So this is one of the high profile trap exist in the Elephant Gambit, which you definitely want to consider in your blitz games. The third high profile trap occurs after the following opening move order: c4, e5, knight to c3, knight to c6, knight to f3, and now black plays the reverse Grandprix attack setup starting with f5. Well, obviously white shouldn't allow this space, and accordingly d4 is the best response, to whom black should gain more space on the king side with e4. Here the old theory suggests that white should go with this knight maneuvering. However, the modern approach is to play bishop to g5, so getting rid of that bishop before we close with knight to d2. Okay, black continue with knight to f6, and now here white should play the move knight to d2, which if you look at first time looks like a blunder, because can't black can simply take this pawn? Well, of course he can, but the big point is after knight captures e4, white gain his material, and this position slightly favors the white camp. But as happened many times, sometimes people don't know the theory, And there are few high-profile games continue with d5, counter-attacking the black knight. And after this, yup, you guessed it, white has straight away fallen into the black trappy territory. For a moment, it doesn't look like there is any trap in this position, because after pawn takes f3, d takes c6, and pawn takes g2. Yes, white cannot just simply take on g2, because after b captures c6, black emerge with an extra pawn. But he can continue with this intermediate move. C captures d7 comes with a check, so that no matter however black recapture, in the next turn he can capture on g2 and the remaining position looks quite okay. Well, that will be the case if black capture with queen or bishop. But to white's surprise, black took the pawn with the knight, and now you see the beautiful idea. Yes, indeed black queen is hanging, but if white take the queen, then black can take the rook and promote a new queen. So that is right out of the equation. And the best reply, bishop captures g2, completely fails, because after simple queen captures g5, if you count the material, black emerge with a clear piece advantage. That's it guys, I hope you enjoy and learn this 3 high profile mini traps. Well, thank you for watching this video. Feel free to like, subscribe and comment, and I will meet you in my next episode very soon. Bye and take care.